It is the Riot podcast.
Oh, yeah. There's still...
Always like a good...
There's still some stuff there.
There is. And, man, the last day or two, my mind's been so goofy.
Yeah.
I just wonder, like...
What's going on?
It's hard for me. You guys have heard me talk about it before, but, like... I just go through these phases where I start getting goofy ideas and acting goofy, and that usually to me is like, hey,
sinus infection.
I might not be better.
It's still
actually.
then.
So
something to think about. If not, I was talking with someone yesterday, and they themselves sounded a lot like we did.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh yeah, it's allergies. It's so bad this last couple of weeks."
Ugh.
So I feel like for us, it could be allergy driven, or we did just come off sinus infections. So it could still be you have a little bit of that still lingering.
I just live in this world.
It is the new world.
I just live in this world. Today in the podcast, we talk Call of Duty, the IRS's big disaster, Starbucks plans, Toys R Us clearance, sleeping bags, chunky KitKats.
We try a low-key Riot food fight, one of the chunky peanut butter KitKats from the UK.
Mama bear looking for a baby bear.
And some lingo you might learn.
Bullying when it comes to the movies. And coffee pots next to your bed.
It's been a good morning.
So you guys enjoy the podcast today. Nikki and I are going to continue hacking and coughing.
Just continue our day.
And look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Don't forget to join us at RadioU Riot on Facebook. Make sure you follow us there. And you want to sign up to get notified so that way when we do a post or something, you'll be one of the first ones to find out. Same thing with our RadioU Riot YouTube channel. You can catch our interviews there. You can get our podcast depending on how you're listening to our podcast. That goes out every day on our Facebook and YouTube channel too.
All right, so you guys know what to do. It is the Riot.
The worst of the Riot. Proof that you're already living in that dark future dystopia. Radio U.
How about this? Alexa, play new Call of Duty campaign. Oh, man, there's some big rumors floating, Nikki. Have you been paying attention to the news that Polygon broke yesterday?
Do you realize it's your duty to understand all the Call of Duty news?
So, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, or as we like to call it, COD Blops 4, is the new Call of Duty, which is going to be out October 12th.
I'm sorry. Is it right for me to feel like Call of Duty, though, has had its heyday it's just not as hey?
It continues to be a huge moneymaker. Its launch is still a big deal, but compared to...
Call of Duty's pass.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be. And the big problem that Call of Duty is facing right now is Fortnite. Now, keep in mind that when people play Call of Duty, they're paying $60 to play Call of Duty. Whereas when people pay to play Fortnite, they're paying nothing.
Unless you choose to give them money for some sort of costume.
Microtransactions, costumes, whatever, right? So there's a huge divide there. Fortnite is free. Call of Duty is expensive.
Fortnite has hurt a lot of games.
Oh, yes. Like, it is a force to be reckoned with right now. Call of Duty is encountering that, among other things. But the big rumor that everyone broke yesterday, I saw it on Polygon, Kotaku, and a bunch of other people, is that this will be the year that Call of Duty launches without a single-player campaign. So you would buy Call of Duty this fall, and it'll have no campaign.
Only multiplayer?
It'll be just multiplayer.
Now, you're more of a...
I always just play the campaign.
So what does this mean to you?
You know what? It bums me out a little bit because in a lot of ways, I'm still that guy that likes to play the campaign. I still do. I love it. And I know a lot of people don't, but I just do. Mostly because I'm not willing to invest the time in multiplayer that it takes to really be any good at it. Every once in a while, something comes along that I'll play, but be assured that whatever multiplayer I'm playing, I'm picking the one no one else is playing.
Well, so you just don't have the competition online then.
I loved Titanfall, and no one played Titanfall. So, I mean, like, that's just, I'm used to that, and it's fine. But the other rumor floating is that we'll see Call of Duty Black Ops 4 as a multiplayer-only game, but then they're going to remaster the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign and sell it separately. So the real speculation now is like, hey, when Call of Duty hits this fall, well, I guess this isn't speculation. The question, what will it cost?
Sure.
Will they charge you a full $60?
Because it's just going to be the online campaign.
What if it hit and it was $20 or $30 instead?
Probably not.
No, I doubt that.
They're like, should we make it less? No.
I just feel like with Fortnite out there free, they have to do something.
True, maybe they will then.
We thought about selling the worst of the Riot. But let's be honest, no one is buying this stuff. Get it for free on the RadioU app.
Irma Gersh, Nikki.
Yes.
I forgot to tell you yesterday. Actually, I didn't forget. We didn't know. Did you see what happened to the IRS yesterday?
Oh, the stuff went down? How were you supposed to pay your taxes then?
The IRS.
Because everybody waits till the end.
IRS couldn't handle all the web traffic. They should really look into getting powered by Amazon.
I want to let you know that becomes your fault, though, and it's not theirs. Where it's like, guys.
Well, you know what? They actually said, they were like, no, it's on us.
Oh, really?
So they're giving everybody another day.
Oh, one more day?
Tax Day Part 2 is happening right now.
Ooh, I didn't know we were in that. I want to go grab my stuff. I went to mail mine, but I just want to go grab mine.
I did. Okay, the way I did my taxes this year was H&R Block tax cut or whatever.
Yeah.
I got, if you pay attention, I think I paid $15 for that and their state thing. And I love this, what they'll do. So like you get to file federally for free. So 5 times. I only needed to do that once. So I went ahead and filed federally, no problem.
Yeah.
But for state, they're like, we'd be happy to file your state taxes for an additional $20.
Sure.
And I was like, or I could print them out and mail them in.
Well, I filed, but you pay,
whatever a stamp
I always make
costs.
my payment. I always mail my payment in.
Oh, you did. So I made my federal payment. I paid that online. I was just like, here, take your filthy money.
No, I wanted them to.
I don't have to cash the check.
Yes, I did. I never write checks, but yet I have to have a checkbook just in case.
He's like, I want to make this as hard as possible.
Yes, I do. I'm like, here you go. You don't get any in my account. No, you don't get to do that. Only to give me money.
That's fair. That's fair. So that's okay. Well,
so today you still have one more day.
It was the direct pay page where you can transfer money from a bank account for your tax bill. It basically crashed, not in the middle of the afternoon or whatever, pretty much starting yesterday morning.
Oh, just
all day.
Really
It was constantly
it?
crashing. And so they just came out and they're like, hey, everybody, you're all so excited about paying your taxes. We just weren't ready.
we just
weren't ready for all the tax paying that was going on.
And I hate that, too. That's like when I get up early, if I get a new iPhone or something, and you're like, it's like whatever time in the morning, and you're like, refresh. Like, why won't this page load?
I can't get it to work.
Can't get it to work.
Did they get my order?
It's like, I don't know.
I will tell you, a popular film a couple of years ago was hitting theaters, and I ended up with 2 sets of tickets.
Oh, because it caused a problem?
Mm-hmm. And I had to, in order to get a refund, I had bought them digitally. I had to go print those tickets out, take them to the theater, because they will only issue a refund if you have physical copies of your tickets in hand. So it was, I mean, it's not IRS level, but you understand the connection.
This is really all we have to associate with it.
That's all I got.
Not with our taxes.
So if you didn't get through yesterday, you know what? You can get through today. Woo.
They promise.
Yes.
Now you can pay your taxes.
Man, isn't that great? Good times, everybody.
Imagine a world where the Riot never talks and it's glorious RadioU music for hours on end. Now, imagine the opposite of that. You're already there. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Kind of fascinated by this whole Starbucks thing that's been going on, mostly for what their response is going to be. Starbucks is going to close on May
8th?
May 29th.
May 29th?
Mm-hmm. And what I don't know is that they're going to be closed all day, but they're going to be closed for most of the day, and they're bringing in all of their employees for racial discrimination training. So that, I mean, if you really think about it, a business that their bottom line is based on being open every day of the week,
yeah,
and all of that, that is a significant expense for them to shut down for that.
For a day. Am I wrong? Did Starbucks do this once before, or was that Chipotle?
There are...
Or who did that?
No, Chipotle did that.
Remember,
like,
someone closed for a day because they had to
I don't think they did that nationwide, though. I think that was just in those locations where they closed them and then they had, like, they were scrubbing it down. But wasn't that the bacteria thing?
I thought
it wasn't a racial
someone closed
thing?
down for training of some sorts. But maybe you're right. Maybe it was to clean things.
Man, I went to the chicken finger place one day and they closed down because they were upgrading their kitchen. But I don't think that's the same thing.
That's not the same thing.
It's not.
That's not. No, that's not a training thing.
So there have been two very recent incidents at Starbucks in which African-American men were arrested in the one... You know what? It's funny, as I'm reading the recaps, it seems in general like they just wanted to use the bathroom. I don't know, any more of the details, so I'll just leave it at that. But in each case, the police were called. And so this last one involving the two guys that was in Philadelphia, that one, that Starbucks, they've got private security and police outside because the protests got to be so intense. So this is their response. The CEO of Starbucks, Kevin Johnson, he met with the two gentlemen that were arrested privately, apologizing to them, and their response has been to shut down, and they're going to do training, which, it's one of those things where I've heard a lot of people scoffing at the response, but I don't know, that seems like a pretty good response, right? I mean, the idea is like, hey, what happened was not okay. We apologize for it.
I think
this
so.
is what we're going to do to try to prevent it from happening again.
It's hard nowadays when an employee from a larger company does something wrong. Sometimes in protest, we take on the whole company, not realizing it's probably going to be a small percentage of people who are believing that way if they are truly acting that way. And I then feel it's a little harsh when we attack everyone who's working at that company at that point. But I feel like any big, large company should always take a day off to perhaps retrain in several areas.
Sure.
So I don't believe it to be a bad thing if they want to make sure that everybody's kind of on board with how we should be treating everybody.
Well, it's one of those things you got to imagine that, I mean, as Nikki was saying, with any large company, just by percentages, you're going to have a certain number of people that are racist or thisist, is that it? Like, you're just going to have that because a certain amount of the population is that. So, it's going to transfer. But that's what I think is, I actually feel like it's a pretty good response. Like, taking some time and saying, hey, just because you're bigoted at home doesn't mean when you put on the smock that we're going to put up with that.
Or, hey, let's clean everything up, or let's retrain here, let's do that. It's never a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean,
even if you don't get your coffee that one day, it's okay.
Well, I'm sure the hope for them is hey, if we do this, it will. There's that, hey, we're glad you're doing this. And then there's the dark, ugly side of yeah, it's better to lose one day of profits than the long-term effects of people not liking what we're responding to.
So what day was that in May?
May 29th.
May 29th, they said?
Yeah, so wait, let's just double check. Isn't that? Okay, that is not. It's the day after Memorial Day. So it's a Tuesday. So live it up on Monday and then,
close the next day.
Training Tuesday.
You remember that time you started your morning with a gas station breakfast sandwich and immediately regretted it? Yeah, it's like that. The Riot. RadioU.
Toys R Us, while we're talking about, corporate problems, they're closing down. I finally went, I don't think we talked, I went to a clearance sale, at a
you
Toys
stopped
R Us.
by it? But nothing's on sale.
It was a joke.
It's hard because they bring in usually a bankruptcy company. And
But
so
that was not the case.
You don't think so?
I know it wasn't.
It was still Toys R Us?
It was still Toys R Us.
They don't discount things. It's like they jack the prices back up to the
suggested retail price.
Even more than the suggested retail price. And then they bring in a lot of product from other stores that didn't sell well in various markets. And so you just end up with a lot of weird stuff that's not really on sale.
Well, I've heard people talk.
Not enough.
I've heard people talk about it where they're like, "Oh man, I went into Toys R Us. It looked like a bomb had gone off. There was just stuff everywhere. All this kind of stuff." I went in, and first off, they had everything. Nothing was out of stock. The store was jam packed. And
they must have just stocked up though, because when I went, it did look like that.
So, this was not the one that was near here. It is a different one. They had a huge sign, everything must go. And I thought, well, I'm just going to go in and look around. And I went in, and their big hook was everything. Everything.
Yeah, the shelves and all.
Is 10% off.
See, that's not enough.
I was just wait.
That?
10%. You guys realize that, I can go over to Best Buy, and I've got a built-in 20% off thing. So, what? No, this is not a deal.
And people are still buying a ton of stuff.
Yeah, there was one guy, his cart was full, and I thought, you know that I could show you how to buy everything in that cart cheaper online right now. Like you don't. The only thing I see is maybe he had gift cards.
Sure.
Because I did have a friend of mine who went to Toys R Us, and he told me, he's like, yeah, he collects toys or whatever, and he was like, I got a $100 Toys R Us gift card. I better spend this thing before I can't get anything out of it. So maybe that was him.
Yeah, because if you wait too long and then they actually have a shortage at that store. I
don't know. But I will tell you, it was one of those moments where you don't want to be mean, but you're like, guys, this is why you're not going out of business. You're saying you're not competitive at all. Even your clearance prices aren't competitive. Dang, it hurts a little bit. So Toys R Us just rejected a bid. Bratz, the little Bratz dolls, that company was like...
I had a hard time because the story was like, Bratz CEO. It's like, is that a real thing?
It is. He was like, hey, we'll buy your stores.
But they said the amount was too low.
They made an $890 million bid for Toys R Us.
I don't know. We never heard more about Toys R Us. Also got in trouble for where'd the money go? As a company, there's rumors or there's just talk about there's some money that perhaps they have that's been hidden somewhere, or it's in an empty Toys R Us store somewhere.
Well,
there's just talk and no one really knows. I'm sure people company-wide who are higher up are still getting a lot of money.
There's been a lot of speculation and talk that Toys R Us paid out massive bonuses to its some of its executives. And a lot of times when companies are about to declare bankruptcy, they will do that because it's literally a matter of we might as well get paid. The place is going down. Let's get what we can get. And I mean, I don't know how true all of that is. So let's consider that rumor.
But Toys R Us is still staying online.
No.
So they're not even selling anything online?
Actually, I saw somebody the other day that hit me up on Twitter or it was Instagram telling me that,
I thought at first they said they were still going to sell stuff online.
No, they are done with online sales. That is definitely out.
So it's a complete shutdown.
Yeah. So you can still go to some stores. And I'll tell you what, if you want to pay more than retail, I got a place for you. I got a location. I can hook you up.
Yeah, it's bankruptcy stuff's when they start doing that process, you just have to watch.
It's weird.
You just might not really actually be getting a deal. You're probably not really getting a deal.
Just because they say it's a deal doesn't make it a deal.
Just because that store has that guy swinging the sign on the side of the street.
It's not necessarily a thing.
Which is also a scam against the laws of the side of the street.
True. But they're fun to watch them dance.
No, they're just leaning against the thing.
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, Amanda Burnett is caught in a Twitter storm.
What happened?
Twitter storm. Twitter storm.
Who needs official sound effects when you can do that on your own?
That was mine. I did it. I should go into a field where you create things using audio.
Yeah.
Because I have a vision for it.
Well, you do.
I just need to get the skill set to create it.
Show them your birthday horn.
Twitter storm. My what horn?
Your birthday horn that you do? No, the one with your mouth. Well, not your strongest showing.
That's a horn.
That's not yours, though. That's that little, your soundboard.
Twitter storm! Twitter, no? All right, whatever.
What happened?
She's in a Twitter storm, Nikki.
Yeah, but what happened?
Cloudy with a chance of Twitter storm.
I just want the details.
What?
What's the details?
What we're doing right now is getting everybody excited about what's going to happen.
Yes, I feel like we are already amped.
Okay, everybody amped?
We're
Everybody
ready to go.
Okay, Amanda, she's 23. She went on a date with a guy at a restaurant called The Tap in Indianapolis. And they texted a little bit after the date, but then after a while...
Didn't work out.
She was done with him. So he sent her an invoice for dinner.
Oh, come on, man.
The invoice was $39.52.
For her side of it?
Mm-hmm. So it was her Moscow Mule. I don't know what that is.
It's a drink.
Okay, and a beer. And then smoked hickory barbecue pulled pork tacos.
She's going for it.
A processing fee of $1.99.
Oh, for the
he threw that on there.
Oh,
I
for
guess.
His stuff?
Yeah, and then $39.52. So he invoiced her for dinner
because it didn't work out for them.
I guess.
But that's like you're investing. Like if you go to a date and the guy pays, or sometimes you split it. But like if it's implied or if he went ahead and paid for it, that's an investment in a possible relationship. It doesn't mean like you got to go on another date.
This is a weird one for me because I read this yesterday and I was looking at the responses on Twitter. And, you know, people always give fair and balanced, thoughtful responses online.
Not in a Twitter storm.
Twitter storm!
Ba-boom!
So people are really divided. Some people, and not all girls.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it wasn't like just the guys were like, yeah, you get your money back. There were a lot of girls that were like, yeah, you should pay for your own meal. And then on the other side, there were guys, oh, Nikki doesn't like that. You think the guy should pay?
If he paid already, this is different.
Okay.
If you are if you're starting off and you're dating, it's great to split the check. I think that's fair until you get into a relationship. It's not fair for the guy to always pay, and it's not fair for the girl to always pay.
I agree.
But if you've already eaten and the check has
already paid for it.
And you've already paid for it, and he already went ahead and did that, and that was not something he spoke up then and there about, I feel like it's petty because you didn't feel like the relationship progressed in enough way that now you're going to send her the invoice. That's where I feel it's petty.
Okay. So the thing I don't like, I don't like the idea, and I really don't like this. I don't like the idea that if I do something for a girl that she owes me something in return. Other than, okay, we go on a date, I buy her a meal. I feel like at that point, the only thing that there's an expectation of is like show up, basically, like, you know, be nice, I guess, whatever. But the follow up, like if she doesn't want to go out again, that she shouldn't, just because I did something nice for her, she should not owe me in
because
return.
It didn't work out.
That is completely inappropriate. Like, no way. Like,
it's petty, and it's like, now I don't know, because I thought, like, was she rude to him afterwards, or like maybe the
she stopped texting him back.
Maybe
That's what he said.
The situation wasn't handled. I don't know if it was handled good enough for him, or
everything I just said being accepted. Though I will tell you, Nikki, that like there is part of me that's just like I'd love to invoice some people.
That's because you were always the nice guy.
Just be like, you know what? Listen,
he was so sweet.
I'm sure that you just needed a meal, and here's the invoice and interest. I know this was 3 years ago.
Yeah, but I still want to charge you for that.
I want my money back, okay?
You're not, that's not why when you go on a date, that shouldn't be it. Like, you just got to decide then and there. Usually split checks. That's a great way to start off, but he paid for it already.
That's interesting. Like, if I was out with a girl and she wanted to pay for her own stuff, I would honestly, I would assume at that point she was like, I just don't like you.
No, not at all.
But that isn't necessarily the case. Like, maybe
that's the awkward part of dating that you kind of got to get over. But thanks to many apps, it's easy to split checks and still pay.
That's true. The other thing you might consider is like maybe not start with dinner. How about coffee?
That's a good one.
Just start with coffee, and then because you buy somebody a cup of coffee,
or you're meeting and you buy your coffee and then you meet. So then it's already taken care of.
You're listening to the worst of the riot.
Today sucks.
Radio U.
Philosophy professor Carey Cronin. She has been working at Boston College for a while, but 12 years ago, she started something that she says is weirdly countercultural. And that is, if you take her class, she has what she calls the dating. They call her the dating professor. What does she call it? Is it the dating challenge? But here's the deal. You can get extra credit in her class if you go out on a date. Not with her.
But with someone else in the class?
It doesn't have to be someone else in the class. It goes like this. And I don't know if you write a paper about it, if it's on the honor system. I don't know, whatever she does. But
she analyzes it?
No. It's actually very simple. She says that modern society, everything is, these are her words, it's become hypersexualized. The idea is we put a lot of pressure as a society on college students to not get in relationships. And so that leaves them in a position where they don't develop properly socially. And she says that's where hookup culture has come from, is that basically there's pressure to not be in a relationship, but there's still an intense desire for sex. As a result, you end up with no relationship and just sex.
And then everybody's confused because then when you want to have a relationship, you don't even know how. You've lost the skills for it.
So
it's actually quite fascinating.
Here are the parameters of her date. You have to ask somebody out. You have to ask them out in person. You cannot ask them via text. If they tell you no, or they say, like, can we do it another time or whatever, she says being rejected is part of the experience, and rejection will help you develop thicker skin. That's tough, but that's some
true.
real talk right there. She said, and then you just go on, you just have to ask out somebody else. The date cannot cost more than $10, and it cannot last more than 90 minutes. I love this
That's
phrase.
basically like a coffee date.
She says everyone is boring after 3 hours.
And then you start getting disappointed in the date, especially if it's a beginning one.
And so that's it. You have to ask for the date in person. The date must cost no more than $10.
And what do you
get? It cannot last more than 90 minutes.
What do you go class credit, you said? Or
you get some extra credit for it.
It's a great idea. And it is fat because, I mean, who hasn't heard when you're in school, you don't want to get in a relationship now, you're going to lose focus. But yet you still get together with people, and then you're getting it wrong.
Here's what she says. Another quote from her. This is mostly not about meeting your soulmate. It's about social courage and challenging yourself to be countercultural, to do something you know you want to do, and to be a little awkward and vulnerable. And that teaches you things about yourself and about other people.
Great idea.
It's really good. Seriously, ask somebody out. And the thing is, I'm just going to throw this on there because you might not get it.
It's from Professor Obadiah.
Yeah, one of the great things about the coffee date is go and don't spend the time talking about yourself. Make it your mission to get to know the person across from you. You're like, well, if both people are you don't worry about them, you worry about you. Go with the goal of getting to know the person across from you. And if nothing else, at the end of it, if it doesn't lead to a second date, you don't have to send them an invoice for coffee.
No big deal.
You've just gotten to know somebody.
And that was good for you.
Right. And the skills that you made in that eventually probably will help you get to know that person at some point. But, it's a lot of pressure to... like, hey, we just met. Should we get married?
I went on a date like that once. That does not work out.
That might be unhealthy.
That's too much pressure.
You're hearing it for the first time, and it sounds terrible.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
I see last night Josh was back to his old tricks, asking people important questions like how often should they shower.
Josh, from the host of The Most Wanted here on RadioU, and a frequent poster on our RadioU Facebook page, which you should really be following.
So did you see this, Nikki, about the...
I did not see the article, but I just saw that he posted something.
Okay, well, I'm reading the article here. It's from Time Magazine. We're all big fans of Time Magazine, getting our subscriptions... and our free flip phones that come with it.
Yeah, something like that.
So they interviewed Dr. Elaine Larson of Columbia University School of Nursing, and here's what she found out. Showering, that's really just for looks, bro. Well, and for smell.
You don't need a shower, or how often do they say?
She says from a bacteria standpoint.
Yeah.
You could shower once, maybe twice a week. Yep. No big deal.
But from my hair standpoint, we need to shower once a day.
That's not how she feels. She says that actually your body is a well-oiled machine, and that
the problem.
The oils are actually good for you. That they would be good for your hair and good for your skin if you didn't shower so much.
It's a mess. I need a shower. It just makes me feel better in the morning. I need to shower.
Okay, but that's just habit. She's saying that from a bacteria standpoint,
from a mental health standpoint, I need to shower every day.
They go on. This is a great article.
Otherwise, it drive me crazy.
It's short, but it's fascinating that they say depending on your culture is just how into bathing in general that you are. She said that Rome, Egypt, and Greece were all three societies where frequent bathing was really in vogue. And so and I love this. She said that once Rome fell, they had such an infrastructure built for there to be clean, fresh water that suddenly bathing wasn't as big of a deal because it was very hard to get the water to do so. And so for almost 1,400 years, it was not a thing. Then it kind of came back, and apparently in France in the 14th century, they were like, hey, guys, we need to stop all this warm water bathing. It's opening up your pores, and you're getting the plague.
Oh, so they're saying it was not good for you.
They blamed hot water for the plague spreading so quickly.
Even though I don't see that being possible.
It's not correct, but just remember that every time you're absolutely sure that science has something figured out, that we used to bleed people and hot water caused the plague.
No, I know they say it's like with your jeans. Like, you're not supposed to wash your jeans every day.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to wash your body every day, but
that's what they say.
It really depends on the person.
Okay.
I can only use dry shampoo so much.
She says that if you ask, there would be, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a quote here. I tell patients who shower daily not to lather their whole bodies. Hit your pits, butt, and groin. There's your medical quote. The areas that produce...
Thanks for that one.
I'm sorry.
It's medical. It's fine.
It's right there.
It's medical.
The rest of your body doesn't need so much soaping.
Sure.
So a little less soap. You know, my problem is this runs completely against what I was thinking this morning. I was trying to determine how I could fit in maybe a third or fourth shower in the day.
Don't you like it? It's nice.
Take a shower in the morning.
Nice
take a shower
warm
after
water.
you work out.
Yeah.
And then at night, you just take a recreational shower. It's just something you do. You're just hanging out.
If it's a hot day out, you take a cold shower. If it's a cold day out, you just warm up, take a nice shower.
Just hang out.
Nice bath.
I'm telling you.
And she's saying we don't need to do that as often.
You're killing your skin. That's what she's saying. You're absolutely robbing your skin of the moisture that it's looking for.
You'd be fine. You'd be dry anyways. So it says it's fine.
It's fine. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just telling you what the doctors say, Nikki. I'm not claiming to be an expert myself. I could spend all day in the water if it was up to me.
No, I wish I could go for days and just not take a shower and not wash my hair, but no.
Well, I didn't realize you were showering daily, so this is encouraging.
Every morning.
All right.
If you were offended or disgusted by anything Obadiah said this morning...
If you weren't so dumb, I might be offended.
You must be new. You'll get used to it. The Riot on Radio U.
So I'm going on an overnight trip where I'm going to be forced to sleep on the floor. Also, there are no showers, but I feel better about the no shower thing because, hey, my bacteria is going to be fine.
Based on what we just heard about, you're not supposed to shower anyways.
I'm going to be great.
You'll be just fine. But for the sleeping on the floor, it's just like you can have a sleeping bag, but you're not outside.
Okay, I might have just found what I'm looking for. I need a sleeping bag, but what I really want is just something that's shockingly comfortable.
You want an air mattress.
Everything is like, oh, you'll be warm. We'll keep you warm in negative 20-degree temperatures. No, I'm sleeping inside on the floor, but I think I just found what I'm looking for.
Hey, that's perfect.
Look at that.
It's a Guide Gear twin airbed fitted cover sleeping bag. So it's small enough, like the size of a sleeping bag, but it's an air mattress, so it's like you're sleeping on a sandwich, like a piece of bread, but you can zip into it.
So, and then if you look, if we go down just a little bit, we see that there's a never flat 18-inch high twin air mattress.
You can add to it. Oh my gosh. That's $90. Never mind.
Yeah, that's really expensive. Okay, no, wait a minute then. So this
Do you need that to put in there?
That's what it is.
That's why
that
that's
is
so
cheap.
Deceptive. Oh my god!
It is so deceptive.
What if you would have bought it? That's the cover that you have to buy the air mattress to go into it.
I hate you people.
So
I hate you.
$90 for the air mattress plus the $30 for the sleeping bag cover that goes around it. That is so deceptive.
Let me tell you what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen.
You're
I'm going to go buy a
floor.
$20 sleeping bag and just sleep on the floor.
Why
That's
do you do
where
that,
this is headed.
But bring some padding or something.
Maybe. I think what I'm going to do, too, I love how they're like, mummy sleeping bag. You sleep flat on your back, whatever. I'm actually going to get a 2-person sleeping bag, and I'm going to shove it full of pillows.
Why don't you get an air mattress? Is there room in the room?
I don't think so. It's one of those things where, you want to stick out, but not that much. Everybody's like, oh, you brought an air mattress here.
It's like, yes, you could say you have a problem with your back, which you don't. But
which I don't.
If you slept on the floor,
now,
you could.
But I mean, obviously, we're headed in that direction.
Yeah, you could say you need to have, here's a compact camping backpack AirPad lightweight inflatable. Maybe. So it's like a small one that fits in the sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
That's $33. Plus, then you need the sleeping bag.
Lightweight, inflatable camping mat, comfortable and ergonomic textured design airbed with packing bag for backpacking, hiking, traveling, tenting, black and gray.
That seems like you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there's the ultralight mummy sleeping bags. Those are weird.
Yeah, and those are like,
they slim down
I'm not
towards
get the
bottom.
comfort I need.
Well,
I'm not going to get the comfort I need out of that.
you have more room, so you can get a bigger one.
Yeah, that's the other thing I got to keep in mind is, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've gotten a little fluffy around the edges, so I can't get a form.
You fit just fine into a normal sleeping bag.
Well, I can't get one of these form-fitting sleeping bags. Somebody's like, why do you have that pillow wrapped around your midsection? I'm like...
you're afraid the sleeping bag will show off your body?
All of my, all of my curves.
Just put a blanket over. You're fine.
I don't know. I've got to think about it.
Okay,
so.
you can get one of the, now these are all too much money.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to spend that.
Well, that's the thing that really bugs me. Do you know what I really want? I want to get God of War. I can get it for $47.99 and it comes out on Friday.
I want that. I don't want a sleeping bag.
Instead of buying a sleeping bag.
Can't you just get both?
It's fine. I love it. I'm excited about it.
Just bring some blankets. It's one night. Who cares?
Oh, man. I know, but I'll tell you what.
Can you sleep in your car?
No, I'm not.
You have to sleep in the room?
Think about this. Right now, you and I like, it's one night. It doesn't matter. Who
I know,
cares?
it's miserable.
And then when I get there, I'll be like, what have I done? Why did I buy this $14 sleeping bag online?
I could have had the $90 one. Why?
I'll spend anything now.
It's one night, though. It's one night.
It can make a hard man humble, Nikki. That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful saying one night.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep looking and you keep looking. If anybody sees anything, we want small, portable, air mattress, like a bed, but still a sleeping bag that's under $20.
I'll tell you what I want. You know, like an Ant-Man where they shrink that building and he carries it? I want a bed that I can have a shrink ray. And I just put it in my pocket. And then when it's time, I get it out and I put it down and I use the enlarge array. And I climb into my big thing and then I shrink ray it again and then I'm out.
I think
Perfect.
I think you need to borrow something.
A shrink ray?
No, more like a bed.
Okay, whatever. I still think the Ant-Man solution is the best solution.
The Riot talks about wanting a day off, but when do we get a day off from them?
Whoa! You suck at this!
It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
KitKat Chunky peanut butter. So what you got here is what is essentially a really big KitKat. And this
Which we don't really get here. We get usually the more traditional, like, flat of KitKats where you get like 4 of the thinner, longer ones.
So what this says, it seems to be, is that you can find this in Canada, but you can also find it in the UK.
Yeah. This looks just like it was the cookie dough one that we had listeners in Canada send us.
They sent us a cookie dough, and you're right.
And I think In the Bag Meg sent us a cookie dough one too.
Okay. Now, these are also, I said the UK. Apparently, if there's a world market near you,
You can
they
get them
sell
there
them
too?
there. But according to this little blog I'm reading, apparently a lot of people go to World Market and buy these up. So they must be pretty good. The only thing I'm going to say to you, Nikki, is what do we know about international chocolate?
It's got chocolate or it's got real sugar in it. You have to watch yourself. You're like, oh, I'm going to go crazy. It's a big KitKat. You got to pace yourself because that'll affect you later. How is it? You love peanut butter and chocolate.
No, I do. It's not bad. I'm just trying to sort through the flavor. I didn't taste a lot of peanut butter that time. Boy, the
chocolate's strong.
Wafer, I thought the wafer taste was really strong too.
But it's not like I wanted it to be almost a Reese's peanut butter cup sort of peanut butter flavor with it, and it's very subtle.
I like the peanut butter.
You do?
I do.
I wouldn't know. I mean, you get an aftertaste of peanut butter, but just like the first bite in, I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, this is obviously the chunky peanut butter KitKat, isn't it?
Oh, it's good.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it. We should go to the UK.
Or Canada. Or World Market, apparently.
Well, there's a World Market not far from here.
Well, we have other KitKats to try, too. So we'll have to try to make our way through them this week and next week. Including she stopped by the KitKat store in Tokyo.
I feel like maybe we should have a KitKat blowout.
Oh, like one huge video?
Do you think we should do it all in one sitting, or you think we should spread it out?
There's a dark mint one. I think we should maybe pair with something else and then have like the Japan KitKats all together in their own.
Okay. The dark chocolate KitKat one does look good.
It does. We also have a can or a bottle of the Coca-Cola Peach. And this is not the U.S. one. This is the one from Japan.
That's the Japanese one.
I've been dying to try that one. That
Really?
and the Pepsi cake one.
Oh,
there was
right.
It was almost like a birthday cake, sort of like a strawberry cake, Pepsi drink that they came out with in Japan.
It was like a Christmas one.
Man, the Christmas cake Really wanted one of those, but no one sent one.
Well, I should have done. We should have pushed a little harder and gotten my friend from Japan to send us one.
To find it, but now I think it's too late.
Yeah, you're probably right. Well, there's always next Christmas,
And
Nikki.
I still at least have the peach one we can try.
It's sitting right there.
So
we need to get it in the fridge.
Thanks again to Meg for sending us some stuff. Yesterday we did a Riot food fight for Krispy Kreme donuts, the new one. So that's available if you want to watch, or other food fights through riot.radiou.com. Just make sure you subscribe to our Radio U Riot YouTube channel and then sign up to get notified. Our food fights go there, or our Radio U Riot Facebook page.
Yum. You know what? Can we just sit here and eat candy all morning?
We only allowed ourselves that one candy bar. That was it.
With virtual reality, the possibilities are endless. It gives us the ability to live out any of our wildest dreams. So maybe we can use it to pretend the riot doesn't exist. The Riot on Radio U.
Anybody busy this afternoon? Maybe give Nikki a ride to Virginia. It's not that far.
I mean, I am great for road trips.
Either that, or if you just got a plane and you were like, yeah, sure, little lady, come on over.
Don't do the little lady.
Come on.
I never do well with that.
If someone offered to give you a plane ride.
I was always told to never accept plane rides from strangers.
I just imagine, I'll tell you, as we've been saying this, I imagine you on the side of the road with your thumb out and a plane lands on the road and some big trucker-looking dude is like, come on, little lady,
hop on in.
Which way you headed?
And apparently I'm going to where? West Virginia?
No, not West Virginia. Virginia? Well, I'm headed to D.C., so I'll drop you off on the way.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. What you've got here is a Virginia state trooper that rescued two.
Oh, the bears. Yeah, I want to go.
Well, so are you willing to accept that plane ride?
Yes, I am. For a bear, I will.
Howdy, sir. Mighty fine of you to give me a ride.
Mighty fine.
Yeah.
I'd have to bring my little cheat book on the lingo. What to say. I wouldn't have remembered mighty fine.
It's okay. We'll get you there. So this Virginia state trooper, there was a black bear that was killed in a traffic accident.
Aww.
Which it's always tragic when a bear loses control of its car. But what?
Nothing.
As a result, there were two baby bears.
Yeah, that needed rescuing.
Mama
bear's here, guys. Mama bear's here.
They're looking for a new
I will take
mama
care
bear,
of you,
Nikki.
despite what my association allows me to have in my neighborhood. And normally I can't have a bear, but I will have two bears.
Now, back on this, as you're talking, I just want to help you. You said you need a little help with the lingo. When the man lands his plane and leans out and says, do you need some help, little lady? Don't say mama bear's here.
Oh, does that mean I want to get married to him?
I don't know, but I feel like you want to be careful with the
lingo
in that space.
No, that's for the baby bears.
I know, and so that's why I'm telling you, you hang on to that until you're out of the plane.
I would say,
and you get to the baby bears.
10-4, good buddy. Yeehaw!
That sounds good.
Hop on in.
I like the sound of that.
I want to thank Kristen. She texted us this story along with the cutest picture of the state trooper with the baby bears.
Yeah. So Nikki said, and I want to see if I can quote her. I feel like the text of the quote is not enough. You really need all the emphasis on the correct syllables. She said, "Oh, I want a baby bear so bad."
Not quite the tone that I had, but yes, I would. Or I want to be around. It was a little more high
pitched. You're right.
Every time I hear one of these stories, I'm like, why was I not there? It never happens in my area. Now, granted, I'm not in an area where there's bears, but it could.
Nobody ever runs over a big black bear in my area so I can take the cub.
Why do I?
That never happens.
I hate where I live.
It's the worst. It is the worst here.
Which is why I need a ride to some place like Virginia where apparently they're around.
Mm-hmm. What you need, Nikki, and I know that this hurts you, but you need to get yourself a couple of high-powered weapons, and you just go find yourself a mama bear and take care of her.
Well, I wouldn't mind partnering with a zoo or one of those, not quite a zoos, but you can still go visit and they have the animals.
I feel like you've got to remove the mama bear from the picture so they're ready for a new mama bear. Know what I'm saying?
I would love a bear.
Yeah.
I just want to hold a baby bear. That's it. Bear. Just want to hold a baby bear.
Well, you know what? It's time for you to start getting out there, driving your car wildly down rural lanes, hoping that a bear runs across.
Do you know I would cry? I would be destroyed if I hit a bear.
And
I would
then
be
you'd
emotionally destroyed.
Oh my gosh. And then there you'd be on one of those rescued animal commercials. You'd be like,
no,
I don't know who rescued who.
Ran over, I think it was like a raccoon or something once, and it had already been dead, and I still cried because I thought, like, I've heard it again, even though it was dead. I just can't handle hitting animals.
How many years ago was that? Was that before or after the jaw surgery?
Why? Oh, because I cry more often?
Yeah.
No, I cry with any animal thing.
Okay. All right. But I'm just telling you that you'd be so upset until you saw this little baby bear peek around, and then you'd be like, it's happening!
Guys. Get it!
It's happening!
I'd open the door and be like, get in! Get in, guys!
It's happening!
And I just keep driving.
My dreams are coming true!
I just want a bear.
Nikki and Obadiah. Obadiah and Nikki.
Love, hate, hate, love.
All right, everyone in, let's go!
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I want to say what's up to Jamie. He also reached out and talked to us about, things, Nikki. Not baby bears, to be sure. But, I recently had an alarm clock die. And
Are you trying to compare the two? Like, to talk about baby bears or alarm clocks?
Well, I'll tell you this. A baby alarm clock didn't come around the corner and need Papa alarm clock to take care of it.
True. So I guess you need to figure out your situation.
Yeah. So Jamie says, hey, man, about your alarm clock issue, I was tired of waking up grumpy to the sound of my alarm going off every morning. I thought about what makes me happy. Okay, everybody, let's do this exercise together, all right? What makes you happy?
Put that in your mind and then think about this in reflection with the story.
Jamie says, coffee. Coffee makes me happy. So I bought a programmable mini coffee pot, and I have it right beside my bed. It goes off before the alarm clock, so I wake up to fresh brewed coffee every morning.
Dude, you got it. That's how you do it.
Also helps when you roast your own coffee, and it is as fresh as coffee can get. So, Obadiah, take your $25 and buy a coffee pot.
Now, you already have one, but you're talking like an upstairs coffee pot?
Apparently, this would be an upstairs coffee pot.
Would you feel pressure or feel temptation to then have nighttime coffee before you go to bed?
Oh, no. You don't have nighttime coffee.
Yeah, but if it was there.
But, no, you make the coffee and then you...
Yeah, but what if you didn't drink it all from your morning coffee and it was just like, oh, still there? Or you could make a fresh cup.
I don't have that problem. Ooh, you know what? I will tell you, though, yesterday, I've been really tired. Like, I can't freaking stop. I'm so tired all the time. Yesterday afternoon, I went to Starbucks, got a cup of coffee, drank it, and then went home and went to sleep.
Oh, even with the coffee?
Yep.
Wow, you're that tired.
I know.
Your body's like, I don't care.
I know. That's what I felt like when I was so tired. And I was like, well, this coffee will fix it. And I just went home and went to sleep. And I was like, bro.
We can sleep through this.
I slept for more than an hour.
Really? Oh, you really are tired.
Yeah. And when I woke up, it was just like, what's going on?
Did they give you decaf accidentally? Like maybe your whole coffee was a lie?
Do you think maybe they slipped me a Mickey? You think that's what it was? I got roofied. The problem is I just went home and went to sleep.
Probably.
And that was just it. So that didn't work out. So, yeah. No, I did. I just went home, big cup of coffee, went to bed. Like what? So maybe I could have night coffee. Doesn't these days
apparently doesn't
seem to matter. Whatever.
Well, that was a very good idea, though, because Obi's clock went bye-bye over the weekend.
The only problem I have with Jamie's question, like at the heart of his question is what makes you happy and have it next to your bed in the morning? What if bed makes you happy?
Well, then you
like,
stay in bed.
Oh, I woke up and there was bed here for me. I'm out.
You must get up and go to work, though. You have to go to work.
Yeah, well, again, if we're back to what makes us happy, I'd love to think about this. There's just a fresh cup of like Mountain Dew just waiting right there for you.
You could have a fridge in your bedroom.
That's the other thing I've noticed. The soda cravings are back. And it must have something to do with being tired. And this morning I was like, man, wouldn't it be great to just have like a Diet Mountain Dew with the breakfast I made? And it's like, no, you can't have that. It's like, yeah, but wouldn't it be great if we did?
Just something small.
But I'm fine. I don't want you guys worried.
No one is worried based off of what we just heard about.
I feel great. I'm going to drink this coffee and go take a nap.
Sure, the riot could start eating healthy, or they could continue living happy, enjoyable lives. The Riot on Radio U.
I got good news. Anybody else sign up for Movie Pass?
You have, yes.
Right here. Okay, Nikki,
In the
why don't
building,
you have...
everybody but me.
Yeah, outsider.
Woo! What, are you bullying me?
No.
Seemed like you were going to start chanting that.
You know what's funny, Nikki? I was just stating an observable fact.
That I do not have movie pass.
You actually just said everyone has it but me,
So wait,
and I said outsider.
Did Zach get it as well? And I
Zach's
guess
got
Sydney
it.
doesn't have it.
Yeah, but she's got NCIS, so
So she's
she's
busy.
good. Like, she
I
doesn't
was
need a movie
tempted to.
pass.
I might get it if the movies were better. But that does not seem to be something that...
I want to hear Nikki discussing that with the Movie Pass CEO. Like, the problem is your product's
I want to
great,
have it. I would like to pay for it.
But movies suck,
Yes.
and you can't fix that.
That's not your problem. That is other people's problem.
I love this. I don't know why, but like the Movie Pass CEO is like making his rounds doing interviews. He was like being interviewed by Variety yesterday. He showed up on Engadget yesterday. He's doing all these interviews talking about stuff.
About what?
Well, one of the problems that they have, a big one, especially in light of all the Facebook stuff, has been that he was at some conference, like a trade show, whatever, and he's like, ha ha, and we're tracking people everywhere. Ha 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 ha.
So Movie Pass is like a little credit card that you get where you get one movie a day.
Yes, you do.
But you have to go to the movie theater. In some cases, you have to take a picture of your ticket stub, or like in the beginning, they said, well, we know if you leave the movie early, what you're doing. You have to be at the theater in order to buy it. So then came the word, well, they're tracking your device to make sure you're ordering it from the right spot. Like, there was a lot of concern over what they're actually doing.
And so they are, like part of their business model is they want to use that data
To sell.
it. But now they're out saying, look, we'll never sell your user data ever. We're never going to do that. We're never going to sell that data. What he's saying is basically they're going to become an advertiser. And he's like, we're not tracking you. We're using your location data. And their thing is like, that's not the same. So the difference they're trying to get out there is like, we don't know when you're at home, but when you tell us that you're about to buy a ticket, we know where you are when you do that.
At the moment of purchasing the ticket.
And so we use that data, and we are going to sell advertising on that data. So, for example, he's saying their business model for this would be, we know that you're going to the blank theater by the mall. And so then Red Robin or Starbucks or whatever will be able to advertise to you through our app based on that information. And so that's what they're saying. Like, we're going to sell advertising, but we will not sell your data to other people, which is exactly what Mark Zuckerberg says.
No, like, check the audio.
That's exactly what he said.
But
we will never, ever do that.
They mean it. Oh, that's
but
different.
They do. That's actually what they're saying. Like, hey, guys, no, really, we mean it. And one of his examples is that one of their guys is on, like, the Facebook board of directors, and I don't understand why the interviewer was not like, hello, McFly?
Like,
is anyone home?
It's just, it is what it is. I mean, you just know your data is being dumped from everything.
Yeah. Well, again, I tell you guys everything anyway. So, like.
And if not, I'm telling it through Instagram or Facebook when we post stuff. So,
like, whatever.
I don't understand what the problem is.
I'm not overly concerned about them using my location data about me going to the movies or whatever. But,
like, oh, yeah, he's here again. Which, by the way, are you going tomorrow or not?
Don't be like that.
Come on.
Don't be like that.
I will.
I'm sorry. Are you bullying me right now?
I am now.
Because it sounds like bullying.
I learned it from you.
It sounds like bullying.
I learned it from you. When are you seeing Ready Player One? It's
okay,
like, is it even in theaters?
All right. Do you?
Is
okay.
it gone?
Listen, guys, Nikki and I are going to have a private conversation in front of you. Okay. Do you remember how tomorrow I have to be gone for a little while?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You can't go to the movie then?
That I have to be here longer,
No.
which means that I'm not going to be able to go.
No. It's, why haven't you seen, this was a movie made for you. There's Godzilla in it. There's all the stuff.
I didn't know that.
Like, he's everywhere.
Listen, I'm struggling, okay? I'm struggling.
Why don't you go Friday?
I still haven't seen Ready Player One.
Why didn't you go yesterday during your nap time?
You know why I can't go Friday. What are we doing Friday afternoon, Nikki?
Oh, yeah,
what are we doing? Okay? So, why am I not going?
We have a meeting.
I know.
Why don't we go after the meeting?
Okay.
Why don't you go before the meeting?
No, because see, we becomes me and I.
I will drop you off and pick you back up again.
Thank you so much for that.
I will be your movie mom.
Thank you so much. No, I have not. Like, I keep not having time to be able to go. And I don't know. I don't know. But
Listen,
it's probably...
I hear what you're saying, but I'm disappointed. Like yesterday, you took a nap and you had time to go to the dealership and get an oil change. You could have pushed that off to next week, couldn't you? Like, I don't think you're making the right choices.
You're right. I have made some poor choices. I really have. You're right. You're right.
So fix it.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
Mama Bear's here.